Yeah, turn it on. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the How We Do in VGC Premier Challenge, hosted by Ryan Hebert. My name is Gerd. We'll be your casters for this evening for the top cut.
That's right. That's right.
And we've already gotten an TD Ditto here, and now we have Armor Rouge and Trick Room being set up.
Yeah, really interesting starts here from Adrien. He's running a core he's been running most of the season with Tyranitar and DD and Armor Rouge. His opponent Tom here is running it back with some Armor Rouge and DD as well. You know, I gotta say, Garrett, a lot of people think that Armor Rouge and DD is dead in this format, but even with all the dark types, these two players have said, you know what, we're still gonna run it.
The Ruination Pokemon, obviously being the dark types, like the premier one, especially considering that Ting Lu does really well into this core, it's still good and can matchup check people if they don't lead correctly, because there's still so many variations that people can lead to just not be able to beat the Indeedee Armor Rouge combo. Something that I also still find interesting is that Adrien's still using that Lycanroc, T-Tar, Indeedee Armor Rouge, and the Dondozo and Tatsugiri tech, basically just 3 cores in one.
Well, it's tried and true, and so that means that he's just not going to give up on it. But here we go. We've got some interesting play. A Terastallization coming out on the field here. Who's it going to be on?
Armor Rouge.
Hey.
Yep, Terra Grass, the signature Terra type Armor Rouge, pretty much from day one. You could have seen something like a Terra Psychic just for massive expanding damage, expanding force damage, but we're gonna see Terra Grass here. Follow Me coming through from the Indeedee. Just gonna be redirecting something, but not really gonna be too useful in front of these Pokemon. That is interesting. The Aurasphere.
That's an Aurasphere, and that's an interesting move to have. I think it's good for coverage, but a powerful Rock Slide coming out from Tyranitar, going to be knocking out that Armor Rouge and doing some big chip damage onto that Indeedee.
Yeah, the Follow Me just not able to redirect, spread moves, and you're not really in a good position if you have to follow me when your opponent is clicking Rock Slide. The Anti-Trick Room from the opposing Indeedee is going to be activated. Now that is going to be giving good momentum for Adrien here in the player 2 side. And now we're going to be seeing Tom, seeing what we have in the back. I don't know how fast Tyranitar is to make sure that he doesn't get hit by this Iron Hands in the back.
Tom's team thrives in Trick Room. Trick Room, for those of you not familiar, is a form of speed control in order to make the slowest Pokemon the fastest Pokemon on the field. Well, Adrien has said, you know what, I don't want that on the field because my Pokemon are a little too fast, and so he undid Trick Room in order to get the speed control again. Now, there's an Iron Hands on the field in Psychic terrain, so you cannot use Fake Out, or else it is not able to be used. So we're going to see a Helping Hand come out here. A powerful Psychic coming out into Iron Hands, doing over 50%, super effective.
Yep, and that's just coming off of just regular Psychic damage with the Psychic Surge coming up. Rock Slide going to be coming up from the Tyranitar, going to be hitting both targets. Rock Slide will be KOing the Indeedee on Tom's side, but we're going to see a Wild Charge go into the Tyranitar on the low health. That is going to be picking up another KO.
Yep. Yeah, opting for as much damage as possible there. Although, I gotta say, this Iron Hands, it's not carrying the popular move, Drain Punch. Instead, it's carrying Brick Break and Close Combat, which, granted, are fantastic moves to have. But, Drain Punch is so popular because you're able to keep recovering, doing damage over time, and it just means that Iron Hands is able to stay on the field just a little bit longer.
Yeah, Close Combat you can see especially on Sword Stand sets, but it's very interesting to see 2 fighting type moves on Iron Hands and not one of them being Drain Punch, especially being Brick Break on the Iron Hands. We're going to be seeing the Hatterene come out, but it's not going to be in Trick Room as we mentioned before, and it's going to be pretty vulnerable. We're going to see Helping Hand from the opposing Indeedee, going to be probably going for something. Expanding Force coming out from the Armor Rouge, that is going to be doing crazy damage with a Psychic Surge still in effect, and now this Iron Hands is going down.
Yeah, wasn't able to put up much of a fight without Trick Room, whereas, in Trick Room it would be able to go before that Armor Rouge, but sadly without it, you're just not able to do enough. Hatterene delivering a powerful Dazzling Gleam, but without Life Orb, it doesn't do too much damage, so it's really only doing just a chip of damage here on Armor Rouge and Indeedee.
We're going to see the Surrender immediately coming out, knowing that there's just absolutely no way. Indeedee Armor Rouge, again, being one of the solid core, and not having that Life Orb ability, just running Covert Cloak on the Hatterene, you're just not able to output as much damage. And obviously, you want to be in Trick Room with the Hatterene. It's Terra Steel, so you're not going to be able to Terrastallize the Hatterene to Terra Fairy for more boosted Dazzling Gleam damage, and that's just how it goes.
Even still, Terra Fire is usually a better Terra for Hatterene. It resists Dazzling Gleam from Flutter Mane, or you're able to just kind of take advantage of like Mystical Fire, for example, as well to cover your steel weakness too. So, Tom's really got some interesting choices here, but they're more defensive than they are for offense per se. He's got Lilligant Torkoal on this team as well, so he's got this really cool plan going on. The only problem with this is that this is a game of weather wars, Andrew. So we've got Tyranitar on one side, we've got Torkoal on the other. If you send them out at the same time, the way it works is that Sandstorm is going to come up first because Tyranitar is faster, and then Sun, Mr. Gold Sun, will come on out. And the thing is, though, is that for Adrien, he goes, okay, well, what if I keep my Tyranitar in the back? What if I save it? And then I bring it in, and then all of a sudden, all this power coming out of Torkoal, it's no longer there. And then the speed boost that Lilligant would get with its chlorophyll ability to double its speed is no longer there as well. And so it's just a whole thing about, do I bring Torkoal? Do they bring Tyranitar? And then on top of that, something that Tom has to deal with is Dondozo.
Absolutely. And not to mention, also just going back a little bit, 5 out of 6 of Tom Farrow's Pokemon are all special attackers, so if the Tyranitar Sand is now activated, you get the 50% special defense increase, so you're also just making sure that the Torkoal is not doing as much damage, and you're also gaining that buff as well. So, interesting leads here. We're going to be seeing an exact mirror in placement. We're going to be seeing Indeedee and Armarouge on both sides.
Yeah, Indeedee, Armarouge on both sides. Both of these looking quite threatening here. They both have flash fire, so they can't hit each other with powerful fire type attacks, which means that they're forced to use other moves in their moveset. And then, as for Tom, his team is running a little bit slower, so my guess is he wants to try to get up Trick Room as much as possible. And then Adrien kind of has to decide, okay, do I also click Trick Room to try to negate his Trick Room? Like, what is the mind game? This is what it's all about when running a Trick Room team versus something that maybe be a little faster.
Yeah, when you're playing Trick Room, you don't want your opponent to also get Trick Room because it affects the whole field, not just your side, so you have to be careful of that. We're going to be seeing a switch out from Adrien, going to be going to the Tyranitar now, obviously having that dark typing. If there's an expanding force being used by Tom's Armarouge, it's not going to be doing anything. Follow Me, probably trying to redirect some sort of move on Tom's side. We're going to see a Blaze Cannon. It is going to be going into the Indeedee. Let's see how much it's going to do. Just over half. It's going to be doing around 75-80%.
Yeah, Life Orb Armor Cannon does do a pretty penny worth of damage, let me tell you. And looks like Tom did go for the Trick Room here, but Adrien says, you know what, I'm going to bring in my Tyranitar, I'm going to have my Indeedee on the field, and there's not much you can do. I mean, you saw how well that Tyranitar took that Aura Sphere previously from Tom's Armarouge. He can still do that. He can still take that, and on top of that, Tyranitar does have the Flying Terra type, so on top of all of that, if you decide to become a Flying type, you resist the fighting, although you lose access to that special defense boost that the Sandstorm is giving all Rock types right now. So it's kind of a hand-in-hand sort of thing. Do you want to give it up, or we'll see what he does. Not
to mention that you lose your special defense, but you also lose your dark typing, so now you're also going to be vulnerable to expanding force damage boosted in the psychic terrain. So let's see what's going to happen this turn. We're going to see the Terra Grass coming through from the Armarouge on Tom's side. We're going to be seeing if there's going to be a Terrassalization. No Terrassalization on either side for Adrien here. Follow Me coming up from Tom's Indeedee, going to be moving first. Aura Sphere coming through onto the Tyranitar. That is not going to be getting a KO, even though it's 4 times effective.
It's true, and this is a big commit. You're already down in defenses from the previous Armor Cannon, but wow, living on a sliver of health here on Armarouge and taking that Psychic into Indeedee, you're looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good. Sandstorm Chip taking you down just into the niches of the red zone here, and wow, what a turn. The tide likes to turn a lot in VGC. It's momentum can always sway in one person's favor really, really quickly. And man, this looks pretty good. We know that this Tyranitar is holding a choice band, so it's locked currently into that rock slide. Yes, indeed, he can redirect attacks, but you could get off a powerful spread move here if you've got it.
Oh, we're going to see the helping hand coming through from Tom's Indeedee, and we're going to be seeing another Follow Me coming through from Adrien's Indeedee. Let's see what's going to be happening. The Armarouge is going to be moving next. We're going to be seeing, I'm not sure what that's going to be. It looks like it's Expanding Force. That is not going to be hitting the Dark-type Tyranitar because it did not Terrestrialize. It is going to be KOing the opposing Indeedee, even though it is at low health. Now we're going to be seeing the Life Orb chip actually going to be KOing the Armarouge. So either way, it was going to go down. If it used to turn this move, if it used to move this turn, it was going to go to Life Orb. if it somehow survived this turn, it was going to die to the Sandstorm chip. It stayed in. Now this Tyranitar is just going to get a single target Rock Slide hit off. It's going to be KOing Tom's Indeedee, and now it's going to be 2 Pokemon apiece.
I like that play from Tom. You know, you're covering for a potential swap with Tyranitar. But if you're Adrien, you've got Indeedee. You know that your Tyranitar is going to be good. You're going to get off a powerful Rock Slide, and you're going to knock out Tom's Pokemon. So, you know, that was a solid coverage play for Tom. He's shaking his head right now on stream. And, you know, he's got Hatterene and Iron Hands, but now he's in Trick Room.
Yep. Now you have a lot of momentum because Hatterene is way, way, way slower than Armarouge is, and especially than the Tyranitar, so you are going to be moving first. I'm not sure how fast this Iron Hands is. Knowing that's in a Trick Room mode might be a little bit slower than normal. We're going to see the Dazzling Gleam just going to be getting that KO against the Tyranitar. Let's see who's going to be moving next between the Iron Hands and the Armarouge. It looks like we're going to see the Armarouge going to go for the Wild Charge. That's going to do a decent chunk of damage, about 45%, I'd give or take. And now Armarouge is going to be hitting that amazing Expanding Force that is still in Psychic Terrain. This Iron Hands is going to go down, Ryan.
I know. It's really tough. If there's one Pokemon you didn't want to see on the field in front of you in Trick Room right now, it's Armarouge. And sadly, this Hatterene, let's see here, you know, it's covering Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, Misty Terrain, and Trick Room. If anything, you know, maybe you needed to double target that Armarouge there with a powerful Psychic and Psychic Terrain, and then a Wild Charge to double up. But at the same time, you just can't ignore Tyranitar. So, you know, it's Hatterene against the world here. D-Gleam is resisted by the opposing Armarouge. There's a small chance it lives it. And then Lycanroc. Lycanroc has its special defense boosted right now by Sandstorm. And on top of that, Adrien's got a Terra type to still utilize in this game. So, you know, Adrien, it's looking real good. But hey, like I said, you never know until the last possible moment, a critical hit, or you just never know what's going to pop up in a game.
Absolutely. So Terra Rock coming through. Normally you see Terra Ghost to make sure you survive some sort of fake out. But we're going to see the Dazzling Gleam. It is still going to be faster in the Trick Room mode. The Armarouge is going to be going down on Adrien's side. And we're going to be seeing a Rock Slide come through from Lycanroc. That is going to be picking up the final Pokemon on Tom's side. And Adrien is going to be moving on to finals.
I just want to make a note here. So Rock Slide was actually the only move that this Lycanroc could do damage with. So, you know, with Pokemon, like I said, until the last possible moment, there's a chance that Rock Slide could have missed.
Yep.
And there's a chance that it could have kept missing and not landing a hit, which means that Tom could have brought it back and brought it to a game 3. Would have been tough.
Yep.
But there's always a chance, and so players, it's so important to be able to make sure that you keep going until the last possible moment. Never give up too soon or too early, because sometimes, even in the final moments, you can find these niche opportunities to bring the tide back for yourself, and then boom, all of a sudden you're back in a winning position.
Yeah, I give or take, based on the damage that the Dazzling Gleam was able to do, it would still take another 2 hits. So obviously you have to miss the first Rock Slide, so that's about a 10% chance, and then you would have to miss at least 2 more subsequent Rock Slides. We're missing 2 in a row already is already a 1% chance, and you want to miss that. That's maybe like 1 in 1,000.
Look, I like my chances. I like my chances, okay?
Yeah, play to your outs. Play to your outs all the time.
Exactly. And, you know, every top player is always doing that. Playing to your outs and making sure that you can try to get the win. I mean, telling yourself you're going to lose, you're probably going to lose.
Yep.
That's just what's going to happen. And so
bad mindset.
It's a bad mindset. You need a winner's mentality. Follow the Joe UX9 way, okay?
Yep.
Winner's mentality every single day. I'm so excited, though. So we're going to see Adrien moving on to finals here. We had Andrew S. and Jake M., who were playing in semis as well. I assume they're probably finished up, if not ready. So we're going to take a quick break here and hopefully be back with finals of the How We Do in PC series. So stay tuned.